So how does? Oh yeah, yeah. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. So hello everybody. My name is Aritz Parra, and I'm a video journalist working for AP in Beijing. I think there are some people also coming from Beijing here. Okay. You can't hear. Okay. So I was saying, my name is Aritz Parra, and I work in Beijing as a video journalist. I'm the senior producer for AP television there. I've been doing this job for the past 4 years, overseeing and coordinating the coverage that we do in video for AP. Before that, I was in Shanghai. I lived there for 7 years, and I was a writer and a multimedia producer for a Spanish newspaper. And I also, before that, I lived in Ecuador, in South America, where I worked for a national newspaper, and I produced a documentary in the jungle. And let me tell you a little bit about this, because I think this must have been about 15 years ago, and technology was obviously not the same as what we have today for producing videos. The cameras, the finding laptops that were all fast to edit video, that wasn't very easy, or it wasn't easy to find them, or I couldn't afford to buy one. So I was commuting 12 hours in buses, in muddy and bumpy roads from the jungle to the nearest city whenever I had a glitch with the computer. Obviously, the documentary wasn't very good with all these technical challenges. But what I wanted to say with this is that the story was good and the content was good. And this is something that I think we shouldn't forget. We're here to talk about technology, the media business, innovation. But at the same time, I believe that we shouldn't forget that stories and good content are what drive compelling journalism. So let's get started. And I'm here actually to present you AP Video Hub. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar. Who knows about AP Video Hub? Has anybody here used it before? I think only one person. All right. Lucky. Well, it's good that I'm here then, because I'd like to introduce this tool. I think some of you working in newsrooms would find it very useful, and I think, and hopefully, you're going to get, I think, a username and password for the next 2 days. So hopefully it will be also something that you can use for your prototypes, and it will be useful for the winning news prototype. This is how it looks when you watch it on a tablet, and we'll be going into the website very, very soon. But before, here's what is it. AP Video Hub is a tool, is a platform for online news websites who need up-to-the-minute video content. It's a platform that is designed specifically to meet the increasing demand for video content in news portals and online publishers. And it's a service that puts the emphasis on speed and the ease of use. It was first envisioned as a platform for distributing AP's videos to its clients, but slowly and organically it has been evolving into an online marketplace for video content. And by that I mean now there are content partners that have signed contracts with AP, and they distribute their video content through this platform. So what can we find when you get the username and the password? What you will able to find inside this platform will be content by the AP. And I'm not going to bore you. I think everybody here is very familiar with what's a news agency and what AP is. It's one of the largest news agencies in the world. And it's great to work for a company like this, because you produce stories that have an impact globally, and that's something very very nice. So with lots of bureaus all over the world and more than 3,000 journalists, we are able to produce 24 hours of global news coverage in different formats, and that means 2,000 stories per day, 1 million photos per year, 5,000 videos annually. And it's obviously not only about the numbers. A news agency needs to provide volume. We are there to do a lot of the times the dirty work that our customers don't want to. When the BBC doesn't want to send a journalist to a news conference, they rely on the agencies, right? So we provide volume, but we do it without compromising quality and the highest standards in journalism. And increasingly in an environment where there is more and more competition and everything is very fast and every news are breaking on social media, we need faster speed for delivery. This platform is something how do we achieve faster speed for delivery of news, especially of videos? That's always been a challenge in our workflow on the field when we are producing the stories, when we are doing the videos, editing, exporting, compressing. A lot of you will be familiar with that process. When you need to do it very fast in a breaking news situation, technology can be dictating whether you are actually delivering the story soon enough for the world to be able to see it. That's always a challenge, and technology is improving, and we are changing our workflow and exploring different technologies to be able to be faster. Now, on AP Video Hub, there's a team of dedicated curators. We call them curators. We don't call them editors, but they are basically editors. And what they do is they upload about more than 100 video stories every day, only from AP. These are stories produced by us in the bureaus. Some of them produced about 3 or 4 stories per day from China. And there are many other stories that come from content partners. It's basically world-breaking news, global news features, entertainment stories, sports stories, and increasingly more and more lifestyle features. The videos that come in the platform are news packages. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but the agencies provide, let's say, the raw ingredients for the newsrooms to be able to re-edit, repackage that material with their own voiceovers, with their own translations, with their own angle. They can insert their own video. So we traditionally have been providing rushes or very loosely edited packages. But in this platform, you're going to be able to find archive video, curated archive content that comes alongside breaking news stories. And I think this is interesting because, for example, if we have a press conference by, let's say, I think yesterday there was a press conference in Australia by it was an update on the search for the MH370. And it didn't really yield any headlines, any news, anything shocking, but would they have announced something new in the investigation that was significant? We had a package ready with all the file footage of the disappearance of the plane, the relatives reacting to the disappearance, the search in the Indian Ocean. And I think it's important at times when things happen very fast and we sometimes only get the latest update on the news to contextualize also and to make that effort to contextualize when we tell stories in video. Apart from the the Rush packages and the archive video. There's also consumer-ready video. These are edits that come with voiceover and sometimes with the stand-ups, with a reporter speaking on camera. Right now, it's only in English and in Spanish, but I think it will be soon in Arabic as well. And then, and this is very important, there are live events. And the industry, live video has always been important in broadcast, but the industry, especially online news websites, are moving towards that direction. There's more and more demand for live video, even on social media. I think everybody is probably familiar or have seen Periscope. I think it's a very interesting tool. So we'll talk about it later, about live video, but let's take a look at the website first. Let me see. Okay. So, well, we should start from the beginning. Okay, how do I do this? Like, I need to look here. Okay. So, when you have a username and password, you're going to go inside. And this is what you're going to find. Now, the platform was built in conjunction with some of the world's leading news sites. And the idea is to offer a simple, intuitive interface that has exactly the information that a busy newsroom needs, but nothing else, because we're all very busy and we need to be able to find very quickly what we need. So let's say in this top area, you're going to find what we call the curated content. So this is what editors of the day think that are the most significant or visual stories. This one, I watched it yesterday, was pretty neat, about an artist who brought ice blocks all the way from Greenland to Paris, where the climate summit is taking place. There's also top partner content, sorry. These are, somebody mentioned before, user-generated content. There are some companies that are dedicated exclusively to dig the most exciting, bombastic, shocking, mind-blowing user-generated content and to do the verifications that are required. So Newsflare is one of those companies, and they distribute their content through this platform. But basically, here's where you're going to be able to select faster. Because there's, I mean, right now there's how many videos? I think there's almost 1,500 videos. So here's where you can choose, do I want the news videos? And there's a new video coming almost every 5-10 minutes. So let's say I'm just going to focus on sports. I want this press conference by Real Madrid. I come here. I can download it here. I can choose to download it in standard definition, high definition, HAL, NTSC. Every story comes with a script and a short list. This one is not great, actually. Let's say you can also search. Let's say we want. I don't know if there's any video about Hong Kong. Yeah. The MAMA Awards, Canada. So yeah. We can also read the script here. And I'm hoping that this is going to help you with your prototypes. I think this is the most successful, let's say, the most used tool inside the whole. So this is live. This is AP Direct. Since 2003, in 2003, AP launched a live video channel. It's a 24-hour, 7 days a week channel that streams news events worldwide. But for many years, there was a lot of trouble the editors had a very rough time deciding what were the events that they needed to focus on, because we only had one channel. And there were situations. There was an interesting one, I think, last year or 2 years ago, at the height of the Ukrainian crisis. There was a very important press conference by Vladimir Putin in Moscow. And we were prepared to do live. But at the same time, in LA, the red carpet for the Academy Awards, for the Oscars, was happening. So as an editor, with only one window to show what's going on, what do you do? What do you choose? Do you choose a historical event with probably, well, not historical, but do you choose like a political event with a lot of interest in for the conflict that is happening at the heart of Europe? Or do you choose an entertainment story that can seem vain, but at the same time, your highest paying customers is the story that they care about? So 2 years ago, we had to make tough decisions, but not anymore, because AP has moved with AP Video Hub to having 4 live channels. Which one did you choose? So I don't know the answer, actually. But right now, you can choose. So right now we were watching, I think this was a press. This was a vigil. No. Yeah, this is a vigil to remember the victims of the shooting in the US. And on another channel, we also have, no, this is the vigil. No, this is a press conference on migration. There's something else here, probably. This is, I've seen it used in websites, especially, I mean, I work in China, so I pay a lot of attention what Chinese media are using, and Sina.com and Sohu, they are all using these lives. It's quite interesting. Because they're streaming it, and they also have, I mean, I think it's Sina has, I think, also various live channels on their website. So they use, in some of the channels, they might use the AP feed, but they also do their own lives for events that are happening in China. Now, why is live so important for media, and especially for online media nowadays? I'm going to show you, I'm going to be silent for a while, and I'm going to show you a video. Yeah, but the audio is not working anymore.
The audio is coming from the vigil, so you need to take the vigil off.
Oh, really?
I think you've still got that window open.
Let's do the live one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I know what you mean, yes. Okay. Let's close this. And let's see if it works now. Okay, let me play it from the computer. Yeah. Well,
not really sure why, but it was playing off the website, right?
yeah. It's very low.
Live is crucial to winning the speed war.
Oh.
The more we generate live content, the more we're across news events as they happen. If these customers tell us they want more live, the live is really important to them. They have increasing audiences online and on mobile.
The way people consume news is changing, and increasingly consumers are accessing news via social platforms.
Whereas previously we've only been able to provide customers with one live at a time, we're now going to be able to provide up to 4 simultaneous live streams. And that for us is a real game changer.
It gives our customers more choice, which is what they're asking for. And the reason that they want more choice is because the news agenda is widening all the time, and they're saying they're just as likely to want to have live coverage from a technology show or a red carpet at a film premiere as they are for a breaking news story, a presidential press conference or something.
And live events are always scheduled and guaranteed live content, such as the Japan cherry blossom season, where you have a lovely fixed shot of a tree outside a monastery for 7 whole days.
So we're going to increase the amount of money we spend on live from our news gathering top every month. On top of that, we're going to use our live units, which are all around the world, much more than we already do.
We can go live anywhere where there's a strong cell phone or internet connection, no need for a satellite truck.
So in Mexico, we have increased dramatically the number of times that we use our live view units and that we offer stories to AP Direct.
So I can literally take this camera and run and look and have a live signal in this tiny box.
It is simply has changed the way we produce news and provide it to our clients around the world.
This is a call to arms. We're in a speed war with our competitors, and we're going to give all of our staff the ability to go live from the cell phone in their pocket. They'll be able to use Bamboozer, which is a great app which allows people to go live in HD.
It's very important that we can deliver to our customers the entire range of content that we have available.
So this, let's have the light button. Yeah. I mean, for somebody who's quite a lot in the field, lives are, I don't know, having to carry an extra piece of equipment and having to coordinate with people in London that need to receive your live feed. It's a challenge. It's sometimes when we talk about, and I think a lot of you come from newsrooms where you're going towards the model of one-man band doing all the multimedia piece, writing the story, taking the photos, doing the video. If on top of that you have to do live with an extra piece of equipment and phone calls and struggling with 4G signals and bad reception, it can be tough. But at the same time, it's something that, in my case, for example, it's allowing us to be much faster. Instead of me having to wait for an event to finish and start editing and selecting the sound bites from my interviews and compressing and uploading and writing a script, my colleagues in London can see already what I'm streaming, and they can edit it there. And we can put out the story much faster than we used to. And that's one of the advantages on our side. But I think nowadays, I think viewers are demanding to see news happening on their screens, and not only on TV. They are demanding to see them on computers, on mobile phones, on tablets, and I think that's inevitable. Something else before we finish? Oh yeah, I wanted to show you an example of why this. I said that having 4 live channels allows us to have multiple. In a way, the newsrooms can enrich their coverage by having multiple choices, right? Apart from that, just this week, I discovered another interesting use of having various live feed streaming to a newsroom through AP Video Hub. And is that you can have actually, and this is something that the BBC was using, Phoenix TV here in Hong Kong was using 2 AP live feeds at the same time, because even if it was happening in different sides of the world, this was something that was related. I want to show you the example. Let's see. This is the view from my office. So yeah. So that's it for now. If you have any questions, either now or later.
Brendan Zapp, I'm a freelance journalist. I'm just curious about the, because you mentioned when you opened about the need for high quality reporting, and there was also something there about the speed war. So I'm just curious, do you find that this speed war is negatively impacting the quality of the reporting?
Not if you have, one of the challenges, so I was talking before a little bit about the workflow, right? I think news organizations need to be smart and very self-analyzing the way they work and the way they establish. If they want to be faster, you need to have a workflow that enables that speed without compromising the quality and the standards, right? We've been pushing quite a lot for speed in the last year, and there were problems like this. I mean, not everything is perfect. So we found out that because we were bringing a lot of live feeds from the ground, from different places, from Syria, from the newsroom in London was able to edit material much faster. But if you want to make sure that the material is truthful to the story, you need to have that communication between the newsroom and the people on the ground. That means having more producers in our central newsroom. So in a way, we have added people in our central newsroom that is able to take care of more stories centrally. So we are outsourcing from the field back to the headquarters. But that was something that we found out, that in order not to lose quality, we needed to add more people in the newsroom rather than in the field. And I think those are, I mean, we need to be smart in the times when budgets are shrinking, and let's face it, that's happening all over the media spectrum. The ability to think creatively and make use of technology, I think it's very important in order to gain a speed without losing that quality.
I always find that in print you get much more information and much more detailed information. How is AP using video and giving more detail and more depth to a story than just having a visual image, which people can forget? Whereas how are you changing your workflow and your processes to give depth and the detail beyond the basic visual?
That's a very good question, and I think it's related to what you were asking. There is this ongoing debate. Should we make our scripts longer and more detailed? Should we give more information like our text stories provide, or should we make them shorter? And the trend right now, and it seems to me like every 2 years there's a trend in one direction, and then like the opposite side wins the battle somewhere, and we go back to longer scripts and more details. Right now we are in the era of very, very short scripts. It's basically, we don't write more than 5-6 paragraphs for a TV story. The reason why it's been done this way, it's to try to get, if you have to be shooting, making sure that you don't get detained by the police, editing, and filing your story, and on top of that you have to write a very, very long script, you are compromising speed. But then we realized that customers are not using, the newsrooms are not really looking so much at the scripts. They just want the 2 or 3 paragraphs that give them the basic understanding of what's the story about. And if they want further information, then they always have the text story. And we found out this was happening already with broadcasters. Broadcasters were not looking at our scripts. They were looking at the shot list for the translations for the sound bites, or for information about where is this event located, where did it happen. But if they wanted to write their own, let's say, voiceover, they will source it from text stories more than the scripts. So right now we're in that, in this period when we're trying to shorten our storylines. I'm not sure if in 1 year we will do the opposite.
So the AP Video Hub works on a subscription basis, kind of similar to the AP Wire service, right?
Yes, it's a little bit more flexible. As far as I understand, and I'm not an expert, I'm like the field person more than the salesperson, but my understanding is that traditional broadcasters would pay some money to sign up for the video feed, for the video service of AP. But obviously newsrooms are not going to be paying, newsrooms that are basically trying to get video for their websites or for their apps are not going to be paying that amount of money that big broadcasters can pay. So AP Video Hub, part of the goal was to provide a much more flexible tool for online newsrooms to decide what's the content that they want. So it functions with a credit system. You buy credits. So you don't necessarily need to buy like a whole year subscription for all the video feed that AP produces, but you buy credits and you spend them based on the videos that you download. So I don't exactly know how it works, but a breaking news video might cost you 4 credits or 5 credits, whereas a light entertainment story might be 3 credits. And there are some newsrooms that are buying a certain amount every month, or newsrooms that are buying on an annual basis.
And also, maybe just to follow up quickly, what do you think of like these sort of new free live streaming services like Periscope? I mean, you were sort of emphasizing
it's interesting
to be a competitor in a sense, right?
Yeah. We have our own AP developed. One of the things that I like about, and when we talk about technology and innovation, I think AP is a company, not a lot of people know, but it's a company that invests a lot in startups and works very close to some news and media startups. About 2-3 years ago, they launched Bamboozer, which is an app that we use for live video. And I've been in several situations where you come across a news event and for whatever reason you don't have a camera, or a text reporter that is working alone in the field comes across something that might be newsworthy video-wise, and can stream video from a mobile phone. It's the same concept in a way as Periscope. The difference is that Periscope is a social media tool. You share it publicly, whereas we send it to our headquarters and it goes in the AP platforms. Periscope, I think it's a very, very interesting tool. I haven't experimented much, but I've seen quite a lot of foreign reporters in Beijing for Sky News and BBC and others using it. Once again, I mean, you have to be smart on how you use it, and when it's because you're adding to a team that already has to write a blog and tweet and do the story and edit. You're adding another, because they are usually shooting, they are covering a story for Periscope, and then they are doing the story for their traditional TV broadcast audience, right? So I think newsrooms need to think very well how they use it.
I have a couple of technical questions regarding the backpack of the live
Yeah.
streaming from the video. First is, what is the code rate of the video?
What is the what?
The code rate.
The code rate. Like, you mean the transmission rate, the speed? It depends. For good in the time of SD video, let's say HD video, everybody wants HD video. You need about 1,000, like 1 megabyte per second. That's usually the minimum. In my experience, that's usually the minimum requirement for good broadcasting quality HD signal. Below that, you start to get pixels, and it doesn't look very good. What we do sometimes, and in most countries now, the mobile phone technology, the internet over mobile phone technology is fast enough to provide that kind of speed if you don't have a lot of people around you using similar technology, because you're competing with other users for the bandwidth, right? In China, where I work, the speeds are not good. So this is a big pain for me. So we struggle quite a lot. What we sometimes do is we switch to SD, and then for SD with about 600 kilobytes per second, you can usually get good quality.
And also, from what I understand from the video, is the transfer is by internet, not the satellite.
Yeah, we have other technology that enables us to do live via satellite, but we are doing more and more what we call live view. It's one particular technology, but there are others, and that's it's mostly over mobile phone networks, mobile internet networks, but you can also use LAN internet. You can use Wi-Fi. Yeah.
And also for the video journalists on site, are they streaming directly to the audience, or they have to the raw video has to transfer back to the newsroom and be added?
It goes back to a server in the newsroom, but it goes directly in our service. It goes directly to the customers. There's an average of like 3 to 6 second delay, because that's the time that the technology needs to. I mean, I don't really know how it works, but the device, the live view, it needs to gather all the footage and put it together and send it over, and that's the time that it usually needs to be able to do it effectively. We try not to have If it's more than 6-10 seconds delay, for whatever reasons, for technical reasons, if you need to stream it 6-10 seconds later than when it's actually happening, we actually usually have and we put it as an advisory to the customers. We say that there's a delay.
So the process of compressing and encoding are actually in the backpack.
Yeah, it all happens there. Yeah.
In terms of copyright of the AP Live, is it in terms of legally copyright, maybe that we capture the live and publish it on our site?
If you sign up and pay for the service, you can do it.
But it is allowed, we sign up for the AP Live, so we allow to capture a certain portion of your live.
Oh, and use it as a video, as and upload it to your website. Yes, depends on the. It depends on the contract that you establish with AP, but normally yes. And this is something that's when we were talking about the speed. That's the way we're actually now more and more AP's customers are getting videos from the lives rather than from the edits that we send them. So I don't know, like Sina might be in the newsroom. They are getting the live of a military parade in Tiananmen Square, and then they are doing their own edit as the live is happening from the feed that we are sending them.
Breaking news.
Breaking news situations. That's so yeah. Each live. I mean, sometimes AP produces a lot of its own content, but it also carries signals from, let's say, the Australian government gives a public signal. If it's a public signal, you can use it, and that shouldn't be a problem. Sometimes there are signals that come with certain restrictions because it's not AP. We're getting it from a local broadcaster in Malaysia, for example, and they don't want, they say very clearly that this is just for live purposes, and they don't want AP's clients to use it as video. But that's very clearly when you go in the website, you will see each live has the source and the restrictions very clearly stated.
Maybe we do last question, so it's okay, and we'll carry on.
As a journalist, over the last 15 years, we've been doing video and stuff. Can you give us some insights into how you've changed your workflow and your process to improve the quality and the information that you're getting out in short sound bites, so that people can take the knowledge you've got and say, hey, this is how you can get the most out of that 15 seconds, or as opposed to using 30 seconds from your experience?
You mean shortening?
No, how have you changed your workflow? Now you're using much more video to improve what you're presenting and giving more information within the story, as it from a journalist point of view rather than a technical point of view?
Well, from a journalist point of view, I think, I mean, I'm not sure if things have changed very much. Like a good story is still a good story, right? And we tried to shorten quite a lot. I mean, we realized that we used to, I think there's been changes in terms of video. Just speaking about video, there's been changes in the way we edit the stories, for example. And I'm, for example, we would never now, in the past, we would start, let's say Pistorius is standing in court. The court is going to deliver a verdict. In the past, you would start maybe the edit with a wide shot of the court, the exterior of the court, and then go inside and see people coming in and out. No, not anymore. Right now, I mean, everybody, and this goes with what you said, like you need to engage the viewer in the first 15 seconds. And when we are selling our videos on a platform like this, the newsroom needs to see the video and needs to see that the thumbnail that comes in the platform is appealing. It's not only the title of the story, it's also the thumbnail needs to be appealing. We create the thumbnails from the first 5 seconds of the video. So the first 5 seconds, the first shot of your video should be relevant, should tell you the story right away. And I often tell when we are reviewing stories that we do, we often make the exercise of let's switch off the audio, like in the video that I played before, and let's show it to somebody that doesn't know anything about the story, and let's see if that person is engaged in the first few seconds. And by watching only the first 20 seconds of the video, does that person know what's the story about without even needing to listen to any sound bites? If we are doing things the right way, that person, the viewer, should have an approximated idea of what's the video about. People are consuming videos on mobile phones. And they might be watching it on subways when they are in the subway, with or without earphones. We need to make sure that we tell the story as in the most simple way, but in the most direct way, and go straight to the point. So that's, in the case of Pistorius, we would go straight to him weeping in court, because that's the most engaging part of the story, right? And then from there, you can go to a soundbite and then go back in time. Sometimes it's difficult to think in terms of when you are an editor of video. We tend to think in chronological way. Let's start from the beginning of the story, the development and the outcome of the story. Well, instead of that, why don't we start from the end? Let's start from what happened, what's the outcome, and then go back to the context and what happened before that. I'm not sure if I answered your question, though.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So if everyone just stay in your seat, we'll have another quick workshop with Ying Chan before we move on to a quick break.
In charge. Thank you. No, I'm fine. Thank you. Wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you very much. It's been great to.
And now you come. You're judging.
I'm very excited about watching the prototype.
Uh-huh.
Most fun part.
Have you done that before? You've done that before?
I think I've been touching like videos and short movies, but never something like a prototype.
Yeah, because there's massive feedback.
What? Massive what?
Feedback from the microphone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I don't need sound.
You don't need sound.
Yeah.
But then
I'm okay.
you'll be able to hear.
But maybe Karen can help me with the show the sites when I'm talking. That's all. That's all the help I need. Yeah.
Okay. Oops.
Do you want the
Maybe. Yeah. Actually, to show the subscription stuff. No, the WeChat groups, right? You can show yours.
Yeah.
Huh? So you just show the website when I talk. That's it, right?
No, I think.
Huh? No. Oh, I don't need the microphone, right? Yeah. Right. Maybe give me some water. Okay, I'll get you. So we show the don't show my don't show my air tickets. Come on, Oh, thank you. No. Use the other
How about
one.
I just use my computer and I'll show the sites?
No. I have my sites here. No. Use a Safari. It's here. And I'll just close this, right?
Yeah, but do you need?
No, you use the size of what? Where do you have it? Chrome
I
or
can show the
Safari?
sites.
It's
On the
here.
Word documents?
No, I don't need the Word
Okay,
document.
okay.
You show the site, but it's here. The site is here.
Yeah, I know.
You have loaded it. No, it's
I'm plugging it back in. That's fine.
No, it's in Safari. I think it's Safari. Okay. I just sit here. Good morning, everybody. Can you see me? I better raise a chair. I'm not giving as much as a workshop, and these guys before me are awesome. So I'm not exactly giving a workshop, but I'm really taking this opportunity to introduce the teams, right? And to give context to what we're doing today and tomorrow, right? And let me get to do this. Now, I think we need to recognize, we have this gathering with 9 teams competing, 9 teams, right? 5 from mainland China, 1 from Malaysia, and 3 from Hong Kong. That makes 9. My math is good. And through these teams, there's a pattern emerging, which tells us something about the trends of media development in Hong Kong, China, in our part of the world, and a bit of Malaysia, right? And so that's what I'm going to do in the next, hopefully, 15 minutes, right? We all know that the industry is being disrupted, but the disruption is coming slower to Asia. Until last year or the year before, papers in India are going up. Japan, the 3 big print papers are still very comfortable. In Hong Kong, we were comfortable until a couple of years ago, but no longer. The digital disruption is here, digital transformation is here, and we all face challenges. And in a way, that's reflected by the groups, right? So I'm going to introduce them. And then when I mention you, please stand up so we know who you are, right? Okay. We don't have to clap, We'll save the applause till tomorrow at the pitching session. Now, the first group, we have 5 groups. We have the group from Caixin. Where's the Caixin group? Caixin, you want to stand up? So we can see you. And you travel from Shanghai or Beijing? From Beijing, all 3 of you, welcome. Now, Caixin is the most respectable, most daring, and most independent media in mainland China. The previous picture was Hu Shuli. Caixin was founded by Hu Shuli, who's also known as the most dangerous woman in mainland China, right? And she created the predecessor of Caixin in 1998, which is known as Caijing. And then I saw its change. It started as a magazine. We still need magazine, but it sounds really old-fashioned now, right? I feel even embarrassed carrying my Apple laptop, right? You have to do this, right? You have to go fast on this. But it started as a magazine, and then it started an online version, and then it started digital, and then it created a lab. It does visualization, right? So that's the Caijing, right? And it's won awards, and I think it also entered the data journalism, the competition last year. It has won super awards with its visualization of corruption, right? I'm not saying anything wrong, right? I saw them nodding their head, right? So that's Caixin. And then we have 2 teams from a major newspaper group. There's a Shenzhen News Online group. Where are they?
Yeah.
Oh, here. And you came from Shenzhen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Is the online news arm of the Shenzhen News Group, a conglomerate based in Shenzhen. It has print, it has newspapers, it's digital, it has almost everything. Is a conglomerate from Shenzhen, right? And then we have the Polydata Studio, who's under the Guangzhou Daily, right? You want to stand up a bit, That's another big newspaper group. Actually, it's one of the first newspaper group that's created one of the first, created in China with the merger of local media, right? And it has local news, sports, 15 local and topic papers, magazine, and now they created a lab and doing work. We can see that there's somewhere here, right? I don't know which one is your favorite, but they're doing experimentation. And it is one of the few media like Caixin, they created a lab to push forward, to do experimentation and to figure out what do you mean by innovation, and how we can produce better news products, right? And then we have two teams from universities, Wuhan University, right? From the middle China, right? And we also have Renmin Daxue, Renmin University, okay, right? Thank you. They're the foremost universities in China. They have a huge journalism school, and they do innovation. Increasingly, we have universities, not unlike in the West or in the US, that they begin to do experimentation, because at university we do have an advantage, like with the space. We have the other departments, brain resources, intellectual resources that can collaborate. So these are the two teams from the universities. And they're no longer just students. They are journalists, they are producers, right? Programmers, right? And that's from China. Then we have the team from Malaysia, Kini. Where's Malaysia, Kini? Three. They just arrived last night, right? A bit lost on campus, but they are here. Malaysia, Kini, I call them the granddaddy of independent digital media in Asia and also in Malaysia. Because for digital media, 20 years or 15 years is a long time. How many generations are there? How many tools have become outdated, and how many tools have been invented? So they created this in 1999. They were aggressive. They do news, and they were created at a time when this very tight, even now today, there's a very tight control of the print media in Malaysia. But for Malaysia to be very advanced, for the government to say we're the digital corridor, we are advanced digitally in Asia. So they exempted digital media from the draconian laws and the very autocratic laws of control of the media. And that's when Malaysia Kini was born. And they've been very pioneering, and now they're doing experimentations. They publish 4 languages, and the office has been seized and searched and attacked, and that's Malaysia Kini. I talk a bit more about Malaysia Kini because they travel farthest to come here, and I've saw them growing and have a special, really, a part in my heart. But I also call them the granddaddy, the first generation of digital news in our part of the world, in Asia. But it's also being challenged in the sense that now the governments, they can use media tools, right? They're more challenged. Other commercial competitors, they know the game. So you have to keep reinventing yourself. You can never rest on your laurels. That's Malaysia, Kini. And then we have, back to Hong Kong, we have EJ Insight. You have the teams there. You have your teammates, right? 2, 3, they're here. Okay. Now, Hong Kong Economic Journal is the most respectable business daily in Hong Kong. It was founded in 1973. It's really, really a long time. As the first business and economic daily in Hong Kong. It still has command a huge respect for its commentaries, and but now it's a print paper. It started as a print paper. It lived for a long time as a print paper, and then it launched an English version in paper at first, and now they launched the digital version, right? And this is EJ Insight, and it's interesting. And so they also have to and try to get the story out. Now, then we have two digital natives, right? We call EJ Insight a digital immigrant in the scale of things. And then we have two digital natives, Initium, a digital startup with Initium. Initium, are they here? You know, that's Initium. And it's only 4 months old. Or is it 4 months old, right? But it has a benefit of being a digital native. It doesn't have a print edition. All its resources going into the digital version. And already they are selling their stories to major media around the world. And they also doing experimentation. They created a lab. This is their lab Initium. They do visualization and doing a bit of work, quite a bit of work. That's Initium. Now, finally, we have the Tech Post. There's a Tech Post. This is our ninth team, right? Tech Post, Tech Post from Hong Kong U. That's a Hong Kong U team, right? Where's the Tech Post? Okay, Tech Hong Kong U. 1, 2, 3. Okay, welcome. And this is a student publication. The students, one of them is a student, right? And they cover tech news, again, totally digital. And the reporter of the team, I got to mention her. I think because she's the youngest. I suspect she's the youngest, right? Natalie, right? Yeah, she's there. Can you stand up? Yeah, wave your hand. Yeah. I also have she also has a special place in this because she's a sophomore, an undergrad, and she's a double major in journalism and computer science. We want more students like this, you know. It's very hard, you know. I went over to the computer science department. I bowed to the head. I talked to the students there. Want to get interest in the media, in journalism. They are jobs, you know, and that's true, right? Very hard to convince them. But we have Natalie here, and so she's a reporter of the team. And they're doing the reporting on issues at the university and also beyond, right? So we have 9 teams. And from the teams, you can see some patterns emerge, right? Number one, they're very diverse. They're very, very diverse, reflecting the diversity of the media scene in Hong Kong, in Asia. And this is a very small sample, but this is the tip of the iceberg. The tip of the iceberg of what's happening, right? You have Initium, 4 months old, and already their story is getting carried internationally. You have young students, you know, who are reporters. They are producing stories. They can bring a story. Tomorrow, I'm waiting for them to bring stories. People know that these days there are a lot of stories happening at Hong Kong U, for good or for bad, right? And there are stories there, right? They can get scoops. So you have the diversity, but it also shows the promise and the challenges of journalism and of our industry. they're very diverse in news contents. They're very diverse in their business models. They're in different stages of the digital transformation or creation, right? Like the EJ and the Malaysia Kini, they're very different, right? But they say face the same challenges, similar challenges, right? To different degree. How to engage the audience, right? There's some questions that were raised. How do you monetize your good work? How do you use these tools, to tell the stories, right? And those are the huge issues. Number two, a second trend that we can see from this pattern is that in spite of the very different media system in China, there's a lot of innovation going on. There's a lot of efforts going on. These days when I talk to friends from elsewhere, when I talk about the Chinese media, I tend to be a defender of the media or what's happening in China. Not to defend the control that's going on, but I need to tell the stories of the efforts that's going on, right? Journalists who are pushing the envelope and the innovations that are working very hard to create, and that's happening. And we can give people some links, about the products that's coming out from the different labs at the newspapers, at the universities, and also because I think China has this has the advantage of the size, right? It's a huge country, right? So you said if we have 0.001% or 0.1% of people engaging in innovation, you have a huge number, right? They have more programmers there, right? At the schools who are interested in working in the media, right? In Hong Kong, it's really very, very hard, right? So there's a lot of innovative work going on in China, and we need to pay attention to that. And I'm learning from them a lot, and that's another trend. And then the third trend that's emerging is the collaborations that's going on. Wait, where are you going? Okay, the left. Okay. We're collaborating with Jen. This is Jen's first Editors Lab in Asia. We hope this will, I'm quite sure this is the first, this eventually in here. You'll be rolling out, right? Other Editors Labs in Asia, right? This is cross-regional collaboration. We also see collaboration between the universities and the industry. We see civil society groups helping because it's Code for Hong Kong here. Do we have a programmer or do we have a programmer from Code for Hong Kong? Code for Hong Kong is a volunteer group, it's an interest group, and they're a group of programmers, and they're very much in the open data, open source information, and we've been working closely with them. And they participate in the EJ group to give support to the industry. And we like that, and that's very important for us, right? And so there's a lot of, we need the collaboration because the challenges we face are so humongous. There's issues that we don't have solution yet, right? What's the business model? How do you monetize good work, right? Can journalism, good journalism, survive? What do you mean by sustainable, right? And my latest thinking is that maybe some journalism does not have to be sustainable. Some will be sustainable, some will be created, fit for purpose, serve a certain purpose, and then move on, right? But those are the issues that we have to solve, right? Now, back at the GMSC, we started at 1999, we created a program, relatively young program, and we have the benefit that we're starting new, we don't have legacy faculty, we don't have legacy equipment, so we started as a convergent media, program. So that means every student, you graduate, you need to be able to deliver on all platform, digital, print, and video. And I think we were progressive at then, but no longer. Now it becomes a basic. Like 5 years ago, it becomes a basic requirement, right? And now, so we started teaching, data, introducing data journalism to students. We started talking about design, which is so central. Talking about design thinking, and we started that 5 years ago. And that's again no longer enough. And we begin to talk about business models, entrepreneurship, right? You cannot be pure journalists any longer. You need to think how you're going to survive, right? This year we're offering a social media matrix, data journalism, in addition to entrepreneurship and all these courses, right? But we've been talking a lot about the toys, about the tools, but this big challenge is really how to use everything to tell a story, tell good stories. With technology as a driver, we have to keep our eyes on the prize, which is good journalism and the story, right? Increasingly, our experience is that with younger students, they're tech savvy, they're easy to learn. They come in, the social media skills are better than us. We, the faculty, professors, have to keep learning, right? So imparting the tech is not easy, but that's the easier part. The real challenge is really discovering stories, telling stories. How the student find stories. You walk down to Kennedy Town, walk out, where's the story? Finding the story. And tell stories that will engage the audience and present data in an interesting way, right? And you use the tools that are fit for purpose, right? And those are the challenging part, for us as teachers, and I think also for media practitioners, as we engage through this transformation, navigating through the disruption in the industry. And so there's a saying that it takes a village to raise a child, right? And I think in this day and age, it really takes the world to raise a journalist. It takes the whole world to raise journalism, right? Journalism is under attack. We're losing trust, right? And how do you raise, but the society needs journalism. Society needs credible information, credible and relevant, and to get it out, to the people for good governance, right? How can we do that? We can do it alone. We can do it alone. I don't think anyone can do it alone, And that's why we have Google. We have SOPA, right? SOPA Representative Christine is here, who's helping us, working together. And we have AP, we have all the partners, right? And I think this is a good start. I think it's a historic start, changing history in a small way. I don't want to over dramatize it, but this is exactly what's going on, right? And I think the prototyping would be very exciting. It's an experiment. We'll see what the teams will produce. So thank you very much, and I look forward to talking to everybody.
So we have one more final session, but before that, we can take a quick 5-minute break and come back at about 12:15, and we'll have Storyful with our last tracks.
Sophia from Starfix Asia Pacific Bureau. Can you hear me okay? Okay, I'll try. I'm also alumni of GMSC 2012. Yeah, great to be back and share my experience on social media and user-generated content. So today I'd like to talk about the changing role of UGC in news reporting and how do we what do we do at Storyful to help discover, verify, and deliver user-generated content for clients to use and trust, and also a little bit about the facts and figures behind viral videos. I'll just move really quickly to make sure you guys have lunch on time. And here are 4 landmark events that happened in recent years, and social media played a big role in reporting, analyzing, and understanding those stories. And those stories either broke on social media or got covered by user-generated content because they captured the historic moments. And here's a bit figures about the scope of social media. And everyone's sharing content, and there are millions of posts, images, videos uploaded every minute. So we see news break on Twitter, we see witness sharing videos on YouTube, or they live broadcasting what's happening on Periscope. And so all 80% of all online content is user-generated, and it's now a vital resource for not just newsrooms, but also like any kind of business. But how do journalists cope with the rise of social media? How do we separate stories from noise? And how do you quickly get UGC content that's authentic and also safe for clients to use? So Storyful was created 5 years ago. We were a startup, but now we are with News Corp. And we had the idea to help newsrooms to discover and verify content from social media and make them available and safe to use in broadcasting or on digital publisher platform. And when we started, there were like no rules, no ethical or sustainable model for us to just manage all the content we get from social media. So we have to build one. And so we combine technology with journalism experience into a human algorithm, we should say, and it's a game-changing combination that gives us the ability to discover, verify, acquire, and deliver content that's real-time on social media. And we work with broadcasters, we work with digital publishers, brands, marketers, whoever they want to find content that's engaging, or they want to use content that's safe for their brands. So here are some clients we work with and platforms we partner and power for like newsrooms or any kind of service. So here are the procedure for our workflow. So when an alert just happens, our technology just send an alert to our team, and then Storyful team will look into that and discover content that's close to source. And we can discover content on any topic, trend, or vertical worldwide 24/7 on all kinds of platforms that's popular with users. And then journalists go into details to verify whether that's fake or true, and acquire the rights for the content for our clients to use. Here are some tools we developed in-house for our journalists to quickly find what's happening on social. And to take Charlie Hebdo as an example. So before the government just even left the office in Paris, we alert our clients about this shooting. And so we quickly build a geofence around the office and just pull in content from eyewitness content on the ground. And then we acquire rights from all those UGC and deliver them to our news clients. That's an example of how we discover breaking news quickly. And then, so after we discover an emergent story on social, we just move into the verification stage and use all kinds of tools that's available and free, actually, to verify the content we see. We use Google Maps to see the street view on the video, and we use image reverse image to see whether that's original. So and we look into the uploader information to see whether it's they are reliable, whether they are located in that location. And here are our checklist once we found the UGC content, and you can see how precise we go as to what's the weather there when something happened, and going to the web pages to find contacts of the uploader, and go into the metadata of the image to see whether it's being manipulated. So we just corroborate all kinds of information around that story we can find and verify before we go into just reach out to the uploader to acquire rights. And to take a case in Asia, here's a good example, Transasia crash. So the first videos and images shared on social media are these, and we see only a little bit about the plane crash, and then our editors just go into the plane model to check whether it's similar with what we were saying in the images. And also we found this tweet showing the plane just go over the bridge, and there we can clearly see the plane model. So there is a dash camera on the car that captured the moment, and this video helped us just confirm that those photos were not fake. And our verification just go through the Google Maps to tell the highway and whether that's the same with what we were saying in the video, and find what's the environment around it on Google Earth. And then we found a third video that's formed also from the similar location, and finally we confirmed the earlier footage is also authentic. And here's the result of the case that we got our clients first to cover the story with this video showing the dramatic moment. And after verification, we often just reach out to the uploader, content creators, we say, to acquire rights for our clients to be safe to use them, and also, give them access to the video they want to use. And we also realize that it's the concept of the radar we put on social media and the rights management model we just built can be used for any type of content, not just for news, but also different, like it can be pointed at different directions, whatever our clients want. So besides news content, we also grow out verticals in viral videos, and they seem to be highly demanded everywhere. Like our newsroom, they always keep a sharp eye on on stories that's before they were news. Our viral team just found videos that before they go viral, and here's an example of what we did on. I hope, I'm not sure whether you guys have watched this video about the emotional baby who's like crying or smiling when listening to his mom singing. And we just discovered this video on just several thousand views. And in 4 months, the video has been viewed over 50 million views on YouTube and other partner sites, and appear on almost every news outlets or entertainment shows in the world. So from what what we manage on viral videos, we have some findings. Like I'll just go really quickly into this. We found that the short, if you want your video to be viral, you better make it short. And the average videos we have for viral videos, they are just 90 seconds long, and 100% of the top viral videos we have, they are less than 5 minutes, and 90% are less than 3 minutes, and half of them just less than 1 minute. So if you have a video that just show that you have the dramatic moment, it doesn't matter if you make it long or keep the audience attention always on your video. And we also found that positive and entertaining UGC can overweigh the provocative or controversial content in terms of variety, because we found that if you have a story that's positive, or if that give people a good laugh, or that's a family moment that makes everyone moved, and it has a great potential to go viral. For example, the Stowaway Cat video, I'm not sure whether you guys watched it also. So when they were the pilot and with the passenger, when they were flying, they found a cat on the stowaway, and I don't have the video here, sorry. So if you just search it on YouTube, you'll find it, and it's really interesting. And it's just a perfect moment of the reaction we have, and or the audience surprised to find it, and it just it's a good example of how viral content can be successful. And also a tip for brands or marketers. And now, as we now have more brands, clients or marketers, for example, Toyota or National Boardport, that they all use user-generated content for their either quest management or or engaging with their users on social media. For example, the Toyota, they asked for 5 viral videos that they can make a social campaign on their Facebook on Father's Day. And then we found 25 of father engaging or playing with babies. And they picked 5 of them and just make a compilation video of that and with a little twist in the end, and post it on their Facebook, and it turns out to be very successful than other brand videos they produce with professional teams. And that's a very good example of how UGC can help brands to engage with the online users. And but for brands, they have to move really quickly, because we found it like a sharp job after just a few hours, maybe 2 or 3 hours, when this video go viral. And so you have to just hit the iron when it's hot and just catch the trends before it's being not fresh for audience anymore. So I've covered a lot more, but any questions? And I'd be happy to answer.
Do you have any statistics on?
Sorry?
Do you have any statistics? Do you keep any statistics on material that you might initially verify as true, but then later you've discovered is it in fact a fake or a hoax or not generated by the person, but been generated by?
Not the usual case, but like for 5 years, I can only remember 1 or 2. Usually it's but not. I don't think it's like we found something we verified that's fake, but probably the uploader like go back tell us that they work with another news agency, or they tell us that it was filmed by a friend or a family member. But usually we after verification we should be very really sure about this story is true.
How long does it take for you to verify it?
How long? It really depends. Sometimes it's just like 3 or 5 minutes, because we have, if we discover the content really quickly online, and uploaders should be online as well. And then after the verification, we reach out to the uploader and they confirm with us. And it could be just within minutes. And sometimes, like with the Boston bombing case, we used about 10 hours to get the rights, but we verify the content really quickly. But we haven't heard back from the uploader for a few hours. So that's another very interesting case about how do we contact uploader, because we only find a YouTube video with a username that we don't know who he or she is. And we go into the YouTube username to a Pinterest profile with only, I think, the last name. And then we go into the public list or contact of the Boston Marathon website to see who are the runners and whether they have the same last name. And we were lucky to find only one. So then we come with the full name of that, and then go back to the Facebook page of the uploader and found her mom to be the runner in Boston Marathon. And then we we acquire the content for our clients. So it takes a bit long. And other questions? Yeah.
Sure. I'm very interested in your Toyota example.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of your materials are sourced from people who upload the videos or content creators, as you call it.
Yes.
My question is, do you have any tips for someone who's creating content from scratch in the hopes of making things viral? I mean, you gave us some good examples, but instead of looking for videos that could go viral, is there any tips on creating?
Yeah, sure. And we recently also like see some uploaders intend to just create viral videos because, for example, we like yesterday, especially with like pet owners, that like how their pet reacts to their commands, or you probably always found it's a coincidence, but they did it on purpose. For example, the dog owner, they have so he had 2 of his dogs just waiting for waiting to hear her commands, and he was asking who ate some treats or food from the fridge, and he like was just talking really to really show you they're communicating with each other. But I think that there's someone behind the camera to use gestures or something to make the dog move on command. But it's still interesting to watch, as when you ask. You don't want to turn into your brother or sister, the dog, but I'm gonna ask you one more time. And who stole the food from the fridge? And the dog just put one of his feet or head to his sister dog, and that's a very interesting moment that for the audience. So you still see that it gets thousands or more views, even you have the you are suspicious about whether it's on stage. So yes, that's a good example of how you make interesting stories. So we found like for viral videos, it's really not predictable whether unpredictable, because you don't know. When like if you should be there to capture the moment, but how do you make a video that you're sure that will be viral?
Well, yeah, I get asked by my clients sometimes to create a video that will go viral, and I always say you can't predict that.
Yeah, I'd say that you have to have a story in that, or a dramatic moments that you have to capture, or it's really ridiculous or a bit silly.
I like what you said about them being positive and family.
Yeah, and family moments always have the potential to go viral. For example, for Thanksgiving, Christmas time, you go back to surprise someone, and the reaction should be dramatic. After 4 or 5 years, you guys don't see each other, and that's a good point to start.
Pepsi in China, I think there was a Pepsi.
Yeah. So just if you go to the archive of viral videos, you'll find some similar stories, and that's a good start. No problem.
What's the geofence?
Geofence is a tech question. So the developers, they can how to expand? They can just narrow down the footage from the location you're looking at, and only pull content or information from what's being shared on that platform. Yeah.
Wow.
No problem.
How do you guys work with brands? Because for example, some brands want to look for testimonials. People that use a certain product, and they really benefit from it, and you want to obviously put together like a Toyota video for broadcast or whatever. So I'm just curious what would that brand engagement look like?
Do you mean like what's the result?
No, like how would you guys work with the brand too?
Oh yeah, so sometimes they just came to us asking, like, we have a campaign that we want to bring social into it. We want to own social, and how do we make it? Or sometimes we go just to propose, like for example, with the national report, so there was a prize for them about like, baking causes cancer. Yeah. And we noticed that there's a topic on Twitter or Facebook about like, and they got panic about this, and we just go into like, we can do press management for you, and we monitor social media for you. And do you want to see what's the reaction from influencers, and how do you react to the case, and we can give you suggestions. And that's when something happens on social, we can just target what's the potential clients for us.
Thank you.
Do you see a point in the future in which the verification process is automated completely?
It's a very interesting question, because even though like with technology, it plays a big part in our business, because we use technology to alert us when something happens, and use technology to verify footage as best as we can. But we still need journalists to look into the details and talk to the uploader who provide all those information. So I think so far we still need journalists to look into those. Yeah.
Explain more about the alert process, because like let's say it alerts you, is it when it becomes a news, so you actively search keywords of the news event to get the video related to the news, or you get the raw information out of the videos, the user generated, and then it becomes a hot topic and get news.
I can give some details about the alert part, because we have so many different tools we use to. Here we go. For example, there are 4 that I can introduce for our alert system. One is recommender, that we use to find who are the influencers in communities on Twitter, and or in different topics in different regions, and we can monitor the information they share. And just with heat map, we can also to just detect how many times a word has been shared within a certain period of time, and whether you can see if it's that dot and it's really big, it should be something we should look into. And with AlertBot, it's also keyword searching. So we put a lot of keywords like earthquake, bombs, shooting, or anything that we think will bring breaking news or big events. We use AlertBot to detect all those in different communities we monitor. And Stream Desk is what we use to find content from different platforms, and we just bring them all together. You don't need to go to Facebook to find some videos, and then Facebook, Twitter, or we just integrate with all the platforms we want to monitor into one platform, and we search when we need to find content from a certain event. I hope I answered your question.
Actually, last year I met with the CEO.
Yeah.
And I learned from him that the subscription is actually quite expensive. There's a change in the subscription structure, and what about small newsroom as far as I know, all major industries that have budget to use it because it's the price is in USD. Is there any plan to roll out some flexible models for small newsrooms?
You mean can small newsrooms use our
your service and to make it more affordable for those?
I like that idea, and we're looking to work with different teams to develop and find a new model on different angles. For example, we I know that our tech team is always looking to cooperate with different teams to you guys to find or develop more tools for journalists to use. And we also these are in-house tools, but we also have public tools for journalists to use. As on Chrome, if you search extension, it's called multi-search. It's an extension tool that we found that similar to Stream Deck. I just here. So this is multi-search. If you have your Chrome open, you can just search it in the extension store. It's called multi-search, and it has the similar concept of Stream Deck to bring you content from different platforms, but it's just a public one. With that concept, we can certainly work with different teams to create new tools or just build up new models for small teams to work on.
And how many languages do you verify?
Now our team has 15 languages, but for journalists, Google Translate is the tool that we use every day.
No, I mean when you verify the content from social media. So in what languages? You can't just translate the Twitter to the tweet to, let's say, your language and then you verify it, right? Because the Google translation might not be accurate. So how many languages you can verify?
I'd say every language, but for now, with our team, we have 15 languages. So we can always find someone to look into a language. But yeah, I think that language is not really a problem for us right now. If I have time next time, I'll show you how we use different tools, even with Google Translate, and with journalists, they don't understand Arabic, but they can still verify content from Syria using all those tools. Yeah. Any other questions?
My question is, do you want users must use their real name to register or just at stage? You do real name?
Yeah, you mean the context of the owner that we use?
For example, when I want to upload something, I must use my real name. Or you use real name to register?
It's not necessary, but for content creators, we ask them to provide their name, phone number, contact info to us, but it's only for our clients, and it isn't necessary to make it your real name to be public.
Just at stage.
Yes. Yeah.
Is working in certain countries more difficult, trying to verify video in the mainland, for example?
Yes.
Anyways, and so sorry, what's preventing you in certain regions? I know it's very broad, but.
So you mean whether it's difficult for us to find user-generated content from literature?
To find it or to verify it, to contact people. I'm just curious what kind of things you hit that are different.
For China, the main thing is about API, the data access. So we're still talking, for example, we're talking with Weibo, Youku to get their API. And what they can provide to us is, of course, sensors and also a limited amount of data that we can get, and that which is different from other platforms. So China is such a case.
Sort of related to issues of language, obviously you can do some translation and you have people focusing with certain language skills, but do you have problems that people just don't get back to you and respond, and that you can't get enough detail?
That's also the same case in China. Like we found uploaders get back to us late, or we find it's difficult to find other information about uploader, because like in the Western social media world, if we use a Facebook account and we probably link it to our YouTube, Twitter, or we can always go into one platform and find information like with other platforms, or we have white pages to look into. But like the case in China is everybody's profile is like isolated. It's not associated from probably like with Sina Weibo, it's a case that we can find their username, but also with their Miaopai app. So it's another short video tool that we found really useful when you see a video and you can go into the Miaopai short video to find their Sina Weibo username. But for other platforms, we don't usually find they are related, and that's why it's hard to find them quickly. Yeah.
Sorry. How do you deal in the case of China? Following that question, how do you deal with? Because we also try to verify user-generated content when it comes to breaking news, for example. And one of the challenges that we find is when you're trying to verify the material and clear the copyright for the material, these are people that a lot of the times are willing to share the content with you, but they don't want to be identified in any way. And sometimes even just the fact that you are exchanging emails or text messages or WeChat messages with them, they don't feel comfortable. They are very, very quickly, they tell you, yes, take it from Yoku and use it, but just exchanging information and engaging in a conversation with you might be dangerous for them.
Really up to the type of content that you want to get. If it's viral video, it's non news, it should be easy. And if it's news content, we always have the problem. But I think it's getting better now, but we used to have the problems because they are afraid of sharing content, especially foreign media, of course. And we have a case, the Eastern Star, the accident. We found a company that owns the camera on the ship that captured the passing Eastern Star, and we actually see the footage on CCTV, but we know it's user generated, and we found it on Youku and found their website and called them, and they asked us to go to Suzhou City and sign 2 contracts with them so they can give the rights to us. But they just cleared this footage to CCTV. It's just the difference. And so yeah, it's really up to the type of content you want to use. But we now see online users, they are like more willing to share content. Like in the Tianjin bombing, we have seen many uploaders. They want to let people know what's happening there, and they want to clear videos for us. So yeah, no problem. Any other questions, or I'll get the 2 guys to launch?
So thank you, Sophia. Thank you. Quick thank you to YouTube as well as AP for coming, and quick thank you to Evangeline from Jen. So that concludes our morning session. For the hacking teams, good luck. Walia over there will guide you to our next session where lunch is. And for everybody else, thank you for coming. I hope you had a good time. You're really good. Always reliable.
Oh, I was like, I was afraid I talked too much. Hi, nice to meet you. Hi. Yeah, we always want to get connected and see whether we can work
We can the Facebook API is Open Media Lab Dec setting of picture cannot monitor or search their names.
Really? Because, yeah, we have no problem. But they're changing
It's not because the user set up the traffic split or
yeah, we have a problem. Otherwise, if it's public. There is another tool that we can find. Let me know, like, if
actually, your section is mostly relevant.
We'll get connected. Really nice.
It would be great if there's statistics.
Yeah, sure.
Tim Nemango.